The evil of Null entangles the world, and that includes Krakoa. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of King in Black Marauders issue number 1, a special tie-in issue, and find out together, shall we? So then, as we join the comic, Captain Kate Pryde and the crew of the Marauder are on their way to New York City. Their mission is simple: get back the people that Krakoa already lost trying to defend the city, including Quiet Council member Cyclops and Omega Mutant Storm. I, of course, find it kind of interesting from a bigger storytelling standpoint that Krakoa was a little slow to get involved with this big, all-encompassing Marvel event, and now, when things look to be going against humankind, they're not sending their heavy-hitting A-team on a mutant rescue mission. Instead, they're sending more of their stealth-deniable operatives to go and get the job done. Almost as if Xavier and the rest of the Quiet Council are trying to save face in the situation that they end up getting caught or called out on their actions here. Things get further complicated, though, on their way to the city when the Marauder is hailed with an SOS. It seems that a nearby ship is under attack by those symbiote wyverns, and the only one who can help are the mutants. And thus, Captain Kate and the other mutants find themselves in a bit of a moral conundrum. Do they stop and help, doing the heroic thing that they're used to, or do they try and play by the new Krakoan book and complete the mission that the mutant government had given them to complete? Obviously, Kate and her people are good folks, and as such, they swoop on in and try and do the heroic thing. Fighting these symbiote creatures is an uphill battle, as all the old tricks don't work anymore. Fire, loud noise. Even someone as powerful as Iceman can't exactly freeze them solid long enough before they eventually end up reforming under their feet. This issue is also an interesting focus piece for Red Bishop. He's one of Krakoa's new war captains, and when they made ground in New York City, he was supposed to take over and lead the fighting that way because of, well, of his many years of experience. But as we notice, he seems to be very conflicted for reasons that are going to make a lot more sense as the issue drags on. The X-Men are able to save the stranded group of people on their ship, but they also seem kind of jumpy and strange. The captain of the other ship claims to be hauling castor oil and that it's no problem letting it go down with the ship. It's when Bishop goes to investigate, though, he realizes that that was a big old lie, and this ship is actually a slave ship transporting human cargo. A sad, subtle, and effective reminder that if humankind can be this cruel to one another, imagine what they can be to mutant kind. And just to make matters worse, Captain Kate and the Marauders once again find themselves in the middle of a moral conundrum. Do they drop these slavers off the side of the boat and have them swim for it, even knowing that that's a full-on death sentence? What do they do with all these people? It's not like they can just take them back to Krakoa, can they? Kate certainly wants to give it a try, and as such gets in touch with Emma Frost. Emma realizes the importance of saving these people, but at the same time she knows she can't wait to take it to the Quiet Council. A vote would take too long, and also there's a good chance they're all probably gonna say no. Believe it or not, it's in this situation a very unlikely hero should appear, and it's actually Magneto himself. Emma psychically gets him up to speed on everything that's happened, and Eric actually has himself an idea. They can't take in this many refugees to Krakoa, but they can take them to Island M, Magneto's old stronghold. There they'll be safe, and once this whole King in Black thing blows over, Krakoa will do everything in their power to make sure these people make it to the country of their choice. FYI, they were going to Canada originally, which makes me smile. Now, what of the slave traffickers? What is to be their punishment? Oh, they come up with a pretty creative one. They get dropped in the middle of the Nigerian desert. It's a 24-hour walk to the nearest town, so they better get going if they want to make it. Don't worry, Iceman leaves them water, though. It's in cube form, though, so they better hurry. Of course, with all of this humanitarian work going on, the Marauders never did actually make it to New York to complete their mission, which honestly Bishop is probably more happy about than the rest, as we discover Beast of X-Force had talked to him before they originally departed. If you've been reading X-Force, then you already know Beast as a spy master has become quite a morally ambiguous character, and he gave Bishop a very dark declaration. You see, if Storm and Cyclops could not be saved in the old-fashioned way, then they would have to get a little bit more creative. Beast okayed Bishop to kill Storm and Cyclops so they could be resurrected back on the island. Again, yet another reminder of the sometimes dark and sinister underbelly that exists on Krakoa, but if that makes you feel bad, then what happens next should probably make you feel a lot better. You see, Magneto goes to the woman who was the de facto leader of those freed slaves. This lady was slow to trust, and with obvious reason, given the kind of place she just came from, but Magneto says that he saved them all for a reason, in hopes that when the danger has ended and the world returns to normal, these people will tell a story of Krakoa's kindness instead of just their strength, something that is integral in building a new, prosperous, powerful nation. And so that was King in Black Marauders issue number 1, a solid little tie-in to a much bigger event that honestly would have worked just as well as another issue of Marauders. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked to find out at some point it was meant to just be another issue of Marauders, but they decided, hey, you know what, this is good enough on its own, let's make it its own special one-shot. Gerry Duggan is one of those writers who I don't think ever really gets enough credit for all the work that he does, managing to balance a lot of different characters, a lot of themes and ideas while still telling a fun adventure story. It's why out of all the new, different, and admittedly pretty great in their own right X-Men books, I stayed very invested in Marauders, and why I picked up this tie-in to King in Black, and why I think you might enjoy it too, which is why I give it a very much deserved 8 out of 10.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Jewel, and if you're seeing me right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, which I am very appreciative of. It really helps drive engagement and retention and all that other good YouTube stuff. So does liking and commenting. Wink wink. If you like my content too, you should check out my Patreon page. We just redid all the tiers, so there's a ton of great rewards. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month, and well, it would just really help me out. It's never expected, but always appreciated. So until next time everyone, I've been Cape Joel, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.